Good morning, everybody. Well, I got to the shelter last night. I did not get rained on, just a little spritz. But at around 2:30 a.m., the sky opened up. So, of course, I was happy to be in a shelter. But this morning, there's not supposed to be any rain for most of the day, but there is a possibility of rain later in the day. Now today, I'm going to be doing a shorter day because yesterday's almost 17 miles, that was a tough one for me. It's the longest hiking day that I've done. You can tell I'm going uphill. So today is going to be like 10.1, a nice little break for my legs. There's supposed to be there is a bald coming up. Hopefully some good views, as long as it's not overcast. But as always, I will show you anything interesting on the trail, and a new day begins. I almost feel like I'm following the yellow brick road. Always pause to look what's behind you. I don't know if you can see the evidence of someone has been through here with a string trimmer. You can see the dead grass on the trail. That is an indication that this area is popular with day hikers. The trail in more popular areas is more gradual and better groomed than the backcountry. So this, of course, is a trail that day hikers would use to go up to Big Bald. But it's also to my benefit. These benches have a wonderful view. Even better, no doubt, on a clear day. Nonetheless, this is quite pretty. Well, this is not a pleasant sight. But you gotta hike it as it comes. Mama deer keeps looking back to see if I'm following while she's on the trail. So the short answer is yes, I am. So after that doe and fawn that we passed another one that's just ahead of Pokeezy. Mama finally cut across through the brush, and I'm presuming the fawn followed. Good evening, everybody. I just put my food in the bear box that you can see over my shoulder. We've got a full house tonight. We have Surefoot, a woman who's going Nobo, and then we have 3 section hikers, 2 middle-aged men and the son of one of them. They are Serta, Hydro, and Doug. Doug does not have a trail name yet. And then Pokeezy is also in the shelter as well. So today, relatively easy day, 10.1 miles. Tomorrow's going to be a little bit longer, almost 16. Actually, we're going to do that 2 days in a row, and that will set us up for Hot Springs. But of course, one day at a time, and tomorrow just under 16 miles. So that's it for today. I will see you tomorrow. I forgot to tell you, I have a funny story about Serta, Hydro, and Doug. Today was the last day for the ferry to take you across the Nolichucky River. Now those three are doing a Sobo section hike to Hot Springs. Because of a number of things that happened to them, they end up at Uncle Johnny's. And they are the very, very, very last people to get ferried across the Nolichucky. But they're going in the wrong direction. They were already on the right side of the river. Now they laugh about it, so that's why I'm telling you this story, and they wouldn't mind. And then they ended up having to get a shuttle driver to bring them back to the right side of the river and drop them off at Sam's Gap. But they hiked for about 10 miles, they said, before they realized we're going in the wrong direction. I bring it up because as hikers, it has happened to all of us. You leave camp and you turn left instead of right or something like that. We've all done it. But the fact that their ferry across the Nolichucky was the last of the season and it was the wrong way, that's funny. Good morning, everybody. Just left camp a couple minutes ago. Don't know what kind of day it's going to be today. I think it's going to be like yesterday, overcast most of the day, a lot of tree rain because it rained a lot last night, and then real rain is supposed to come in around noon. So I'm not sure how many views there's going to be, if there are any, and if it's not pouring rain, I will show them to you. But as always, a new day begins. Since today may be light on views, let me tell you something that happened last night that was pretty cool. So I had to get up at night. This was before the skies opened up. And all around me, outside the shelter, were fireflies, lightning bugs. Now, we've all seen lightning bugs before, but imagine a forest lit up by these flashing lights all around you. It was almost indescribable how neat it was. I don't know how well that will come across on video, but if it happens again, I'm going to try to capture it. It was just the neatest experience. So that may be the highlight of the day, and it happened last night. Who knows? But we shall see. The mist is beginning to lift off, and we're getting a semi-view. But I don't know how much it's going to clear up today. We'll see. This is the Flint Mountain Shelter. I'm not staying here. It's only 11 o'clock, but I am stopping here for some lunch and a little rest. I have 6.7 miles more to do, but now it's time for lunch. While I was eating my lunch, a group of 12 older, by older I mean my age or older, hikers came in. They were out for a day hike, and I talked with them for a little while. They do this every Monday, and they try to get, a couple thousand feet of elevation in to, get the heart going. But yeah, it's a regular thing. Every Monday they do a big hike. It's not always this hike, but in this area. And they are from Asheville. So I am not heading to Asheville, but I'm heading to Hot Springs, which is not far from Asheville. One of them joked that they would take me in the car. I wouldn't have to hike it. But no, I'm putting in the miles by foot. And they're getting their exercise as well. But it was just a lot of fun talking with them and the direction I'm heading. Another recent blowdown that I will have to work my way through. And unfortunately, Poke Easy's not here. Otherwise, we would be able to help each other. Well, the sun's finally coming out. Although I did get drenched about an hour ago. Maybe the sun will help me dry out a bit. But this is a nice cruisy section of trail heading up to the shelter where I'm going to stop for the day. Good evening. You can see the shelter in the background. It's Jerry's Cabin Shelter. I'm wearing my hoodie because there are flies buzzing all around me. Today was a longer day. It was 5.5 miles. The morning was absolutely fantastic. 8.8 miles to a shelter where I stopped for lunch. What happened in the afternoon, however, was the sky opened up and just got drenched. What can you do? Not a lot of views again today, but there's always hope for tomorrow will be a better day, weather-wise and view-wise. But it was a good day of hiking, or really, the rain notwithstanding, it was a good 15 and a half miles. The terrain was a nice mix for me of ups and downs, cruisy sections. It wasn't those long uphills that just, beat me up. The uphill was soon followed by either a level section or a downhill, what I call recovery terrain. So it was a good day of hiking. Well, that's it for today, and I will see you tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. Just left camp. Full house last night. There were 8 tenters and 4 people in the shelter. One of them said he was a no-go through hiker, and he admitted he got a late start. Everybody else, section hiking. There's a couple that was just doing a 2-day hike. But I suspect that's what we're going to be seeing a lot going forward. Day hikers, section hikers. I'd be really surprised seeing too many more people who claim to be no-go through hikers, unless they're going to do some kind of flip-flop, which is great because there's no one way to do the trail. Anyway, Don't know what sights we will see today. Now, I know I'm going to be missing some sights because there is a ridge line that's coming up that has a bad weather bypass. It rained last night, and I do not want to walk wet rock ledges. So I'm taking the bypass, and I might be missing some sights. But that's the way it goes. It is a new day. If there is anything interesting to see along the way, of course I will show it to you. A new day begins. My shadow going up the mountain. Just thought it was a neat image. This is the view at the 300-mile mark. There's nothing. I see a bunch of sticks here, so I'm sure someone did do a 300. But past this point, I have less than 300 miles to go. Amazing. Magnificent view this morning. The trail this morning. I haven't done ridge walking like this in a while. I'm heading downward right now. Good thing it's dry. A view from the other side of the ridge line. I have no idea what community that is down there. From this spot, you can catch views from both sides of the ridge line. A well-camouflaged frog on the trail.
Well, I still don't see it.
This has been our companion for several miles. I say our because he keeps on going back and forth between different hikers. You may be able to see the collar on him, a radio collar. Our suspicion is that he is a bear dog and in training. But he is roaming these mountains right now. After my lunch break, there were a couple of hikers heading north. I kind of hoped he would follow them. But truthfully, I don't know whether his home is north of here or south of here. But off and on, I've had this companion, and he's right behind me right now. That is the home of the Southern Cookie Lady, where I just got some chocolate chip cookie and some ice cream. And I'm heading back to trail. There's also a Northern Cookie Lady, and I got treats from her last year. And now I've been to both, the Northern and the Southern Cookie Lady. Who can ask for anything more? Hello, I'm here at the water source for the area. You can hear the bees buzzing around. As you might be able to tell, I'm in my tent. The shelter was not in good shape. Lots and lots and lots of bees. So I'm here at a not the greatest stealth site, but there was a room for 2 tents, so Pokeezy and I are here. The beginning of the day, nice and cruisy. I saw the Southern Cookie Lady and got a treat, which was good. Second half of the day, tough. It was hot, and 3 climbs that really, I'm not fond of climbs, but did them, and here, and this day is done. Tomorrow's going to be a shorter day, going into Hot Springs, and I will see you then. Good morning, everybody. It was a wet evening. It rained off and on all night. Could hear rumbles of thunder, but that was kind of off in the distance. So the major storm, I guess you could say, thunder and lightning didn't hit where we were, but plenty of rain. And then around 5 o'clock, one last shower just to make sure the tent was wet when it had to be packed away. But it's all good. So today, relatively short day, going into Hot Springs. I've got a resupply box waiting there for me, Yahoo! And also going to clean myself, clean my clothes, dry out my wet gear, taking a 0 tomorrow before preparing for the Great Smoky Mountains. But that's in the future. Today's the day. I don't know what views we will have between now and Hot Springs, but of course I will show them to you, and a new day begins. I'm on top of a fire tower. And it's very, very cool seeing the mist in the valleys, and the mountains peeking up out of them. I normally don't do areas that are off trail by very much. This was only 0.15, less than that. So yes, it was definitely worth it. It looked like islands in an ocean of clouds. The view from a little break in the woods. Got a very muddy river down there. Don't know how well you can see it. The mountains are pretty impressive. So I'm on the final stretch, as it were, to Hot Springs. Got about 2 miles, period. Hot Springs is the first if you are a Nobo, and the last if, like me, you're a Sobo, trail town that the trail goes right through. Now, why is that important? There are a lot of other good trail towns that are off the trail you can get shuttled to, but places like Hot Springs, Damascus, Virginia, Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania, Dalton, Massachusetts, where the trail goes right through town, are incredibly convenient for the hiker. In almost every case, you've got pretty much everything that you need within walking distance. There will be hostels. There will be a way to do resupply. Some places have outfitters, some don't, but pretty much everything you need is nearby. And of course, these communities, because they are right on the trail, generally know what hikers need and what hikers want. And in my case, I definitely need a break, but also after going through the resupply box that Kathy sent me, I know that I will be able to pick up any odds and ends that I still need. I will also plan out how to get through the Great Smoky Mountains. Some people do a resupply in the middle of the Smokies. The problem is that requires going into Gatlinburg or a place like that. They are not anywhere near the trail. And the shuttle alone can cost something like $150. I'm not really willing to do that. But I need to plan out how to handle the Smokies to find out whether I even have a choice. So, going into Hot Springs, going to take a break, going to plan ahead. There is Hot Springs. And there's a sign that says that that is the French Broad River. And that's where I am headed. Yeah, that is one muddy river. So I'm in Hot Springs, and you can tell that it is an AT community. I'm going to go grab some lunch now. Gonna come back and take a look at my resupply box, figure out what I still need to get. I was able to print out my Smoky Mountain Pass at the library, which was very convenient. Now I'm just going to get some town food, relax for a little while, and start to plan the next week to 10 days. But first, food. I am staying at Elmer's Sunnybrook Inn for the second night of my zero. This is my room. Well, the predicted rain has indeed come.
Yeah, I'm closing the house up because it's on the way.
Well, I didn't give you a good morning video this morning. And here I am with a good evening video. So what happened? Well, today is my zero day, so I wasn't going to be doing any hiking anyway. But I got some unfortunate news this morning when I woke up. It rained pretty heavily here last night, but a little further up the trail, they had what has been described as a microburst storm at a place I was heading to in a couple of days. The area apparently has, at least temporarily, closed I-40. There was a mudslide and a hostel where I was going to do just some last second minor resupply before hitting the Smoky Mountains. Boots Off hostel was just hammered. So that kind of threw everything up in the air, coupled with the fact that there are several shelters in the Smoky Mountains that have been closed because of aggressive bear activity. Now, when I say aggressive bear activity, I'm not talking about bears attacking people, but bears going after people's food. So what do you have with you when you're staying at a shelter? Your food. So a combination of not being able to get to Davenport Gap, all the way to Davenport Gap from here. I will be hiking 2 days before I'm getting a shuttle, and I'll explain that in a moment. Because they're a section that can't be hiked right now, and because of the closures in several of the shelters, it would have resulted in me and Poke Easy, because we're still hiking together, to have to put in some incredibly long days. And by that I mean over 20 miles, which is, you know, a long day for me, particularly in the Smoky Mountains. So what I spent all day doing is arranging for a shuttle to pick us up at Max Patch, which is one of those sites you just have to see. We will still be able to hike there. And then basically jumping to Newfound Gap. So yes, we will be skipping some miles. As I said, it's a combination of the damage near Davenport Gap and some shelters being closed. Some are open, some are closed, but it just made the mileage a little bit too difficult to handle. Now, the shuttle driver can't pick us up on Saturday. The intent was to hike tomorrow, hike in the morning on Saturday, get picked up, get jumped up the trail a little bit, and then continue on. He can't pick us up until Sunday. So tomorrow will be another 0. Not intentional, but I'm trying to be as philosophical about this as I can. I would rather be hiking, but you have to play the cards that you're dealt. The shuttle can't pick us up till Sunday, then Sunday it is. So tomorrow, Friday, will be another 0 in Hot Springs. Saturday, we will hike out of Hot Springs. It will be a steep hike for much of the day, which is why it's only 11.9 miles, which actually is a pretty darn good day. And then on Sunday, it will be 8.9 miles to the pickup spot, a 2-hour shuttle, I've been told, and then we're still going to have another 4.9 miles to hike when we get there. So that actually might be a day where we're hiking to about 7:30 or so. Once again, just out of necessity. So that's an update of what I spent my 0 day doing. Usually it's relaxing. To be honest with you, until I got all the pieces of the puzzle in place, I was not relaxing, but all those puzzle pieces are in place now. So that was my day today, and that's it for today. Tomorrow, like I said, it's going to be, you know, a double 0. Not that I intended it to be such, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. See you then. Good morning. I'm in my room at the Sunnybrook Inn for my unplanned 0. Just got back from breakfast, and what I'm going to do now is plan for the next few days, because of, you know, jumping ahead, because of the mudslide, and because of the closures in the Smoky Mountains. I've got to redo the itinerary. So that is what's on tap for today. This may be the only video I make for today, but maybe if, you know, later on I go outside and there's something interesting, I will show it to you. But a new day begins, even though it's a 0 day for me. Good afternoon, everyone. I just got finished talking with a woman who stopped by the hostel. Her name is Kate, and she does shuttle driving in the area, and she has been to the area that was hit by the mudslides a couple days ago. And talking with her and Chris, the gentleman that helps Elmer run the hostel, helps to reassure me that I'm doing the right decision by jumping to Newfound Gap. As much as I hate to skip any miles of trail, Kate's description of what she has seen firsthand makes me feel good about my decision. So I'm feeling better. I was a little bit depressed because taking an unintended 00 and having to skip over not a huge chunk, but to me it's a huge chunk of trail. Less than 50 miles, I know. In the scope of 2,200, it's not much, but still. But I am feeling better now. It's better to make the right decision than to find yourself in the middle of nowhere, having made the wrong decision. So I am feeling better. Good morning, everybody. Finally back on the trail. Pokeezy's up ahead of me. We had a nice breakfast at the diner to fortify us for a very long uphill to start the day, about 3 miles worth of up. Then it's going to be the usual ups and downs. Don't know what sights we'll see today, but if there's anything interesting, I will show them to you. A new day begins. I'm glad to be back on trail. Even with a pack that is heavy, with a full resupply. Nothing by way of views so far. So here is a little bit of the trail. I'm enjoying this downhill while I can because there is a big climb coming up. There really haven't been any sights today, but someone carved that into the rock.